Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see from the title of this video, it is going to be a story time. And now this story time is about the time I almost passed out at Knott's Berry Farm. So let's just get right into the story, shall we? In middle school, in 8th grade, well, not in 8th grade. Let me back up. In middle school, in 7th grade, I was in chorus, and with chorus, we were able to go. Hold on, my lights. Sorry about that. I didn't like the way my light was, but we got to go to Knott's Berry Farm to perform, and then along with that, we also got to have fun in the parks all day, pretty much until closing. If I want to say we stayed there until closing. My teacher was awesome. He didn't make us check in at all. All he cared about that we were there, number 1, to sing, number 2, to go home. And so we were singing, set to sing at about 11:30, I believe it was. And so me, my friend, and our other friend Jessica, I guess my best friend. Okay, so it was me, my best friend Ashley, and our friend Jessica. And we were having fun throughout the entire park. We were going on all kinds of rides. Now, we didn't eat. I don't think we stopped to eat at all that day before we performed. And we were just having so much fun in the park, which I think contributed to me almost passing out. And so 11:30 rolls around, and we are performing, and we are set to perform. We go on stage, we're performing. I think we performed a couple songs, and then the next song was ironically Lean on Me. And so as we started singing that, I felt fine, and then a little bit through like the first part of the song, I started feeling the color drain from my face, and I felt shaky. And the whole time I'm singing, I am going boop, 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 boop. I am just like all over the place. I am bumping into my best friend who's right next to me. And then I also feel like I'm going to like fall forward. And throughout this whole time, she doesn't know what's happening. And eventually she's like, what the hell? Why the hell are you bumping into me? And I turned toward her. And it's at this point that my vision goes white. I can't see a thing. All I can see is white. White all around me. And I'm like, I can't see. I feel like I'm going to faint. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I don't know. And she's like, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Because she thought I was just, I guess, messing up on purpose. I don't know what the hell she thought. And then I turn back to face the front to where our teacher is. And my vision goes black. And it's at this point that I am just don't know what to do. I am freaking out inside. I'm like, I'm going to pass out. I don't know if I'm going to pass out forward or if I'm going to go back. So at this point, I should have probably just sat down on myself. Like, when I started feeling faint, I should have just sat down. But I didn't. But after another, like, 30 seconds or so, maybe not even that long, my teacher signals to my friend to have me sit down. So I sit down, and immediately my vision comes back. I'm still pretty shaky, but I have my vision back, so I'm not as freaked out. And then our friends are all around us. We're kind of like, what the hell's going on? And one of our friends was also standing next to me, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I think I passed out because my blood sugar is low, which has happened to me in the past. Like, I haven't ate all at all today. And he was like, okay. And so he had some candy in his pocket, which was one of the people I did not like at all. But she said I can have some of her candy. So I was eating, I think it was peanut brittle. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I was eating it. I was feeling a little bit better. And so I stand back up, and I start singing a little bit, and I start feeling a little bit faint again. So I sat back down. and I waited a little bit longer, and I think I stood up one more time, and I was still not, I was still not out of, I was just still not, let me, okay, alright, so, I still wasn't feeling very good, so I sat back down, and at this point, an employee from Knott's Berry Farms, like, goes in the back of the stage, and, like, comes to me, and she's like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Do you want to come out stage and have some water? I'm like, no, I'm fine, because at this point, I'm like, I'm already embarrassed enough. I do not want to leave the stage and go off where everybody can see me. Thankfully, the park wasn't that busy and not that many people watching us, but that was more embarrassing to me to go off stage. And so I'm like, no, I'm fine. I just haven't had much to eat today. I'll be fine as soon as we're done and I can go get something to eat. And so, after our performance, I think the performance in total was like 30 minutes or so. Me and my friend, we just went to eat. We finished out the day and I thought it was fine. I was never gonna talk about this situation again. However, 8th grade rolls around, about the time for Knott's again, and come to find out, our friend Jessica, her grandfather was a chaperone, and he filmed the entire performance. Our teacher decided to play this performance. It wouldn't have been fine. It would have been fine. I would have been, if he didn't say anything, I would have been fine. Nobody would have known. But no. He called me out. He told me to stand up, and he was like, watch Stephanie do her magical disappearing act. And like, really? You had to do this to me. You're like my favorite teacher. Hold on. Kitty. Kitty. Why are you playing over here? You're making a lot of noise. Sorry. My cat was just into things. But, so he has me stand up. He's like, watch her do a magical disappearing act. And then she's going to sit back down a couple times. And she's throwing up backstage. I'm like, really? I'm not throwing up backstage. Like, I'm eating candy. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah. So that was the time I almost passed out at Knott's Berry Farm. So, yeah. I do have a couple other stories about the time I passed out. But I did actually pass out at school, and there was another time I almost passed out. Should I? Yeah. So, the second time I almost passed out was, I was now in 9th grade. So, I was now in high school, and I was in NJROTC. And if you don't know what that means, that is, it's just a military class for students to kind of prepare them for, like, the military. Ours was Navy. I did like that class. I loved it, actually. But at the end of the year, we had called it the annual military inspection, which means that somebody from the Navy who was an admiral actually came and inspected us. Like, he was the one, like, behind, like, organizing all these programs. And so it was a major deal. I'm pretty sure there was a few other guys from the Navy. But that one guy, he was going to be inspecting us. And for that, we had, like, this grand oath ceremony. The drill team and the color guard, they all performed. And I'm not exactly sure if they performed or we had our inspection first. I think we might have had our inspection first, but I'm not sure. But during the little performances, all the other platoons, because that's what we were called in our own little class groups, we had to stand and watch them. Now we were standing in parade rest. If you don't know what that is, I will insert a picture somewhere around here. But as we were standing there, after a couple minutes, I started feeling faint. Now this time, I had 8. I don't know why I was feeling faint, but then I realized I locked my knees, which is something you never want to do, which I think that also contributed to the Knott's one. But yeah, this one I felt a lot better, a lot, like, faster. But I kind of knew what was happening, so I signaled to our platoon leader, hey, I'm feeling faint. Like, I need to sit down. And she's like, okay, go ahead and sit down over there on the sidewalk, because we were in a parking lot of our school doing this little inspection. And so I went and sat down, and then I was feeling a little bit better, and our teacher, who we called Chief because he was a chief in the Navy, he came up to me. He's like, hey, let's go inside so you can like chill where it's not so warm and kind of get your bearings. So I did. I drank some water, and then I was able to rejoin my platoon. Now, I think it's platoon, or is it platoon? I don't know. My bad. But I did go ahead and rejoin, and the most embarrassing part of that story was once I sat on the sidewalk and I stood up, I had some like white dirt on my black pants that I had probably for the rest of the day. That was lovely, which I think that's why I think that we had the inspection first, because if I had white stuff on my pants going through inspections, I wouldn't have gotten an outstanding inspection, and I did. So that's that story about me almost passing out. Now the last story I am going to talk about is when I actually did pass out in class. So fast forward a couple years, and I am now in senior year. And it was Friday, and we had a blood draw donation drive going on, and I participated. I believe I donated blood like around 10 o'clock, like 10 o'clock in the morning. Everything went fine. I donated blood, and if you don't know, when you donate blood, you have to stay seated for about 15 minutes and eat like cookies and chips and drink juice. And so that's what I did. I felt fine, no biggies, so they let me go. I went through the whole day. At lunchtime, I had a sandwich. I don't know why I decided just to have a sandwich that day, when generally I usually had a chicken burrito for lunch. That time, I just had a sandwich. Wouldn't recommend that. If you get your blood, if you donate blood, you lose a pint of blood. I should have ate more. That was a lesson learned. But I felt fine all day. And then in sixth period, it was almost the end of school. It wasn't the end of the day for me. I still had another class because I got bad grades in my previous classes. So I had a class after school. But it was about 10-15 minutes from the actual end of school. And I was sitting down, and I started feeling faint. I'm like, this is new. I've never felt faint sitting down before. And I was feeling nauseous. I felt the color drain from my face. I'm like, oh shoot. Okay. And I was really trying hard to like just wait until the bell rang, because I'm like, really, like, the class is going to be over soon. You can wait. But it wasn't going away. I even put my head on my desk and everything. So I decided to go to my teacher. I'm like, hey, I know it's almost the end of the school day, but I need to go to the nurse. Like, I feel faint. I don't feel very good. And she's like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Do you want somebody to walk you to the nurses just to make sure you get there okay? I'm like, no, I'll be fine. And she's like, no, I don't feel comfortable sending you, so I'm gonna send somebody with you. And then she was writing out the nurse pass, and I remember putting my hands on her desk. I put my head down a little bit. I didn't put it directly on her desk, but I put it down, and I closed my eyes. That's the last thing I remember. And then, like, I don't know how long I was out for, but I remember thinking, I'm like, because I closed my eyes for, I thought, a minute. And then I remember thinking, like, hey, like, feeling like I was asleep. So in my mind, I was thinking, like, hey, why am I asleep? I'm in class. I shouldn't be sleeping. And then I opened my eyes, and everybody was around me, and I was on the floor. I'm like, huh. Okay, I passed out. That's embarrassing. And I tried to get up, but all the kids around me were like, no, just stay down. Like, you passed out, you biffed it. Like, shoot. And then, so, by that time, my teacher had already called the nurse, and she was on her way. And so, she put me in a wheelchair, like, she allowed me to get up and get in the wheelchair. We went to the nurse's station. I had a Capri Sun, I think some cookies, and then I think I waited for my mom to come get me because obviously they weren't going to let me go. I just passed out. But yeah. This was on the Friday, so I had the weekend to recuperate. Now, the only thing I could think of throughout the entire weekend was like, this is embarrassing. Like, I'm going to go back to school on Monday and everybody's going to make fun of me because I passed out. And like, I was just thinking the worst. Well, Monday rolls around and nobody made fun of me, thank goodness. But they were all really sweet. They were all asking me if I was okay, if I was hurt, you know, everything like that. So it worked out. Like, that class was super nice to me, thankfully, because I've had some classes that were kind of mean to me. But yeah, so that's the end of my story, my embarrassing stories of like passing out and almost passing out. But if you like this video and you want to see more story time videos, go ahead and comment that down below. I do have a couple other stories. Some are kind of serious. And I probably have a couple more funny ones I could share with you guys. That is it for today. Thank you all so much for listening to the rest of my video. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!